Today, there's kind of a misconception as to who our real heroes are. We need to kind of recalibrate who those people are.
David Cain, founder of Heroes Home Advantage, built the nation's leading real estate rewards network for veterans and first responders, returning millions in savings to those who serve.
In our opinion, as people who serve and sacrifice and put themselves at risk each and every day, are away from their families. Those are the real heroes in our mind, and we want to thank you.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum. Cynergists is your scalable operations company and helps you grow exponentially faster at a fraction of the cost. Go check out Cynergists.com. Today, I have David Cain on the show. David, how the heck are you today?
Hey, Ryan, I'm doing fantastic. Appreciate you having me on here today.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. And I'm super excited to learn more about the program that you have, that you guys out there in the stratosphere. David's got a really cool programs that help veterans in different ways. Let's just jump into it. David, tell us what you got going on, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. So Heroes Home Advantage is a nationwide network of realtors and lenders who give back to our heroes when they buy or sell real estate. We give more than any program in the country, to my knowledge. And you can, we help veterans and active duty, so you don't have to be a veteran. But the way the program works generally is you have to start the home buying or selling process with us so that we can get you connected to our network. And if you do that, then no program is going to give you more money than our program. So, and they are actually giving you a portion of their commission. So it's not tied to a loan program or anything. It goes with any loan program. Obviously, the VA loan's the best loan that exists, but just for people who may not necessarily be in the military, there's 4 other hero categories as well.
That's fantastic. One of the things that you kind of touched on, it's not like it's like added to the loan type of, kickback or give back to the clients. It's something that comes out of the commission side of it as well, right?
That's exactly right. And that's why it's so important to start the process with us, because if you select a realtor or hire a lender, then at that point it's too late, because nobody really wants to just voluntarily give up their commission or a portion of it. That's why we have the network that we do. We look at it like we have an opportunity to give back and say thank you for what you do for our country, to sacrifice and serve. And so that's why it's so important. Now, one other thing to know that's really important as well, Ryan, is there are other programs that do exist, many with some brands that a lot of your listeners probably are aware of, but most of them give a fraction of what our program gives. So certainly reach out to us before you start the process so we can kind of go through the differences.
Absolutely. It's so funny because in that space that there's a lot of companies say that they want to give, and then it gets caught up in the red tape type of stuff. So I really respect what you guys are doing, and glad that you guys have the program that gives as much back to the service member or the first responder type of member as well. So thank you for what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we think that today, there's kind of a misconception as to who our real heroes are. And we need to kind of recalibrate who those people are. And in our opinion, as people who serve and sacrifice and put themselves at risk each and every day, and are away from their families, traveling, especially for the military every couple of years, uprooting. So those are the real heroes in our mind, and we want to thank you.
Awesome, man. Well, I know you've been in the business and the game for a while. So has the industry changed a bunch since you've been in your industry?
Yeah, so the housing industry in general has changed quite a bit. I also have been in the lending business as well, and we do lots and lots of VA loans. But yeah, there's been a lot of changes as far as commissions for on the lending side and real estate side. There's been a lot of changes as far as, whether it's a buyer's market or seller's market. It's actually changing right now more from a seller's market to a buyer's market. So definitely lots of changes throughout the years. There's no doubt about that.
So one of the things that I'm sure you get this question a lot is like, hey, pull out your magic 8 ball, your crystal ball type of, like
Yeah.
it's so difficult to try to I've heard so many people try to time the market, like how do you express that to people that are potentially looking to get into a new home or an investment property? Do people time the market well, or is it just something like if you stay in it for long enough, you're gonna do well? What's your thoughts?
No, I mean, it's been said before, I don't know where, but, and I certainly agree with it. The best time to buy a house was yesterday. Second best is today. And there's a reason why homeowners have a 44 times net worth of renters. And so whether you hit it with the perfect interest rate or, prices are going up or down, in the long run, it doesn't really matter. It matters you get into the game, you buy a house and take part of that process of gaining wealth through home ownership.
One of the things that I look at in terms of being able to compound your wealth, in terms of that with home ownership, I think is real interesting is the amount that you put down. Say that you put like 5% down on a $300,000 house. So that's,
Mhm.
what, $15,000 that you have to,
Yeah.
something around those lines. So you have $15,000. However, your house appreciates at $300,000 per year, say at like, I don't know, 3%. Okay. And you're making, $9,000 per year on 300,000, not your $15,000 investment. So that first year you put in 15,000, you've already made 9,000. You've almost made up your initial investment after one year, which is pretty cool way to think about it that way. You know what I'm saying? Your return on your investment that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's a great way to look at it. And, for active duty, military, and veterans, it's no money down.
Right.
And if you're gaining and you hit the number on the head, it's generally, 3 to 5% depending on the market.
Hmm.
Real estate is regional and local, so California may be different from South Carolina. But generally, if you're saying 3 to 5% on a conservative aspect, on 300,000, yeah, on the low end, that's 9 grand. And the next year it's more because it's off of the 309. So
Right.
that's
Right.
why, you're looking at a 44 times increase or net worth for buyers versus renters.
The other thing too is like there's a lot of misconceptions in your industry. Like, for years people thought you had to bring 20% down, and home ownership was almost obsolete in those terms because of house prices. Now, like the way that the market's structured now is, you said, is flipping from more of a seller's market to a buyer's market, potentially coming into the winter time here. One of the things that you could probably speak on is, like finding something in the winter time, you may be able to get a better deal. You may be able to get some of those costs like, negotiated. Is that something that you're kind of seeing?
Absolutely. And that is exactly what I'm telling people today is that people who are going to wait until, rates come down. Let's say they're waiting till rates come down. Well, if they do that, there's going to be more buyers come into the market, which means prices are going to go up and it means closing costs are going away. Right now, you have less competition. There's, a little bit more inventory on the market right now, and you can get all of your closing costs paid. You can get, them to reduce the actual asking price. And there's not 10 offers, which is in the buyer's best interest and to their advantage right now for sure. So I keep telling people, hey, if I were you, I would not wait. I would buy now. Because if it's 6 months, 12 months down the road, rates come down, it's a whole new game. And VA loans, unfortunately, aren't as good as cash. The cash buyers, they're going to come first, then probably conventional, and then VA and FHA if
Right.
a seller is picking which type of financing.
One of the things that I've heard in your industry is like the the way to kind of look at it is like, all right, how can I use my negotiating power to be able to benefit it, even if it's 6 months early that I wanted to look at a property? So like you said, timing the market, right? So if I'm
Yeah.
looking at something in the market right now, I may be able to get $10,000 either off or negotiated to, come off of my closing costs or something like that. Now, if you look at that in 6 months ahead of, if I can buy down the rate a point or something like that as well, that's going to help me improve my mortgage payment on top of it. Is that something that you're still seeing in the market right now or continuing to see?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Buyers are getting more concessions now than they have in quite some time. So that's another reason why it's a great time to buy. And, yeah, rates are, in around six or low sixes, for VA right now. And so if rates, let's say they get into the fives or maybe even upper fours, which it's not very likely, but if they do, the VA has the best refinance option of any refinance options called the VA Earl. And that's literally requires no appraisal, no income, takes like four documents and you close in 2 weeks and they simply drop your rate. So it's much better to get in now and have less competition and then do a refinance later than come in when rates are lower and you have more competition, you pay a higher price.
So in your industry, it's a very competitive industry. Would you agree?
Oh yeah,
What
absolutely.
what one thing can you kind of look back and say, like, this habit has really helped me stay in the game for so long?
Oh, that's a great question, Ryan. I think really one of the main things is it still boils down to a relationship and caring about your client. It doesn't matter if you're selling, mortgages, houses, or donuts. It really just depends. It's all about the relationship and always wanting to do what's best for the client. There's people I talk to all the time that I'll advise them, hey, it's not in your best interest to refinance or to purchase. And it works against me because I lose an opportunity for, for a sale. But for me, it is always best to look out for the client because my reputation is more important than any transaction. And so I always try to put the client first, ask them what their needs and desires are, and find the best solution, whether that's me, somebody else, or not doing a transaction at all.
Awesome, man. Well, really appreciate you sharing some of that insight. One of the things that we do here on this podcast is we get a little bit more on the personal side with the little rapid fire questions. Are you up for that?
Hey, I guess so. Bring it.
Let's fire away. You ready?
Let's do it.
Uh, what are you reading any books or anything like that, or do you have a favorite podcast?
I typically like to, read several things at once, some spiritual books, some business books, some kind of personal improvement, some podcasts. And right off the top of my head, I can't think of any right now, but I certainly like doing all three of those.
Nice, very cool.
Whether it's podcasts, books, that kind of thing.
Very cool. Do you have a bucket list travel spot that you still want to go to?
Oh boy. Yeah, most of my travel has really been, within the US. So that list would be long. There's a lot of places, from New Zealand to Italy to Greece. So there's lots of places I have not been to. So it would be more on the list than not on the list.
Very cool, man. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
No, early. I normally get up, around 5:15. I like to get in a good workout first thing in the morning. So yeah, certainly early morning.
Very cool. I was just going to ask you my next question is like, what's bumping on that workout playlist?
Well, it's kind of weird. I actually go no music. So I I get in there and just kind of grind it out. And I do like talking to people in the gym. So yeah, I have no music playing. So I'm
Oh my
definitely
God.
an odd bird there.
I don't know how you do that. If I forget my earbuds, I'm driving back to the house. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, I would say flying. I
I
would
dig
I
it.
would love to fly. I think it would be fascinating to be able to fly. So I'm going with flying.
All right, cool. If you could have dinner with one historical figure, what person would that be, living or deceased?
I think I'd have to go with Jesus. He certainly changed the world, still is changing the world today. So I think that would be number one on the list.
Very cool. And then lastly, do you have like a favorite cheat meal?
Ooh, I love a good burger.
Let's go.
Yeah, big fat burger as big as I can get it. That'd probably be number one. Yeah, I'm going with burger.
Nice. Good call. Well, you made it through the rapid fire section in flying colors, man. Thank you for your time on that piece of it.
I don't know about flying colors, but I made it.
I love it, man. Well, if you could go back in time and you could go and talk to yourself, maybe, right out of high school or in your early 20s, what one piece of advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, man. I would probably say, probably just really love, serve, and pour into people. I think that, was something I did more later in life. Earlier, you kind of get caught in the grind and you maybe you're younger and a little more immature, but I think you can have an impact or you can influence. And I think influencing people, making a difference, that's really where, real change happens. And so I think that would probably be what I would say, to my younger self.
I love it, man. Conversely, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh boy, I would love to really continue to grow and scale this business so that I can reach more heroes, pour into them, give back to them, let them know thank you, we appreciate you, we see you, and acknowledge you, and we're here for you. And so that's really what I want to do is reach more people, educate them, let them know we're out there. There's a lot of brand loyalty in the military, which I certainly appreciate. But when it comes to buying houses, selling houses, and getting money back and just people saying thank you, those aren't your best options. And so I don't want to name them, but I do want all of your listeners to know, hey, this is the best option. This is the best brand for you when you buy or sell houses if you're interested in getting the most money back. And
Love it.
so I just want to educate as many people as I can. Hey, we're out there, we're here for you, and scale it as much as we can.
Awesome, man. And lastly, as we wrap up, if people are interested in your services, how can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Yeah, they can go to our website, heroeshomeadvantage.com. They can look us up on all the socials. We're there. And, I don't even mind giving out my cell phone. That's the best number I give out. So that's 803-261-9267. You can call or text anytime. But website, socials, we're out there. Please like and follow us. It gives us more of an opportunity to reach more people and help them.
Awesome, man. Well, David Cain, it's been a pleasure having you on the Milpreneur podcast today. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Hey, I appreciate you, Ryan, everything you're doing. Thank you to all your listeners. One other thing, if, let's say your listeners are in their forever house and aren't planning on buying or selling anymore, please share this podcast with someone who does need to know about our program. Let them know, tag them, and because, like I said, we need to educate as many people as we can, so we need help getting the word out.
Absolutely, man. Well, Thank you again for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And once again, I'm Ryan Van Ornum signing off from the Milpreneur podcast. Until the next time, everyone, stay blessed and take care.